Picture this. Episode 2 of Love Island USA Season 7, a blindfold challenge. Nic kisses one girl and calls her the best kisser in the villa. That girl? Olandria. The twist? He never told her. For weeks, she had no idea. And somehow, that secret kiss became the beginning of one of the most talked about couples in Love Island history. Ace energy from day one. But they didn't end up together until the very end. This is the story of Nicolandria, the couple that the universe kept pushing together while they kept running in opposite directions. From Nic and Olandria's first moments in the villa, to Taylor and Cierra getting in the way, to that second-place finish that nobody saw coming. We're breaking down every twist, every turn, and every moment that made fans scream at their screens. Let's get into it. But real quick, if you're obsessed with Love Island Season 7 drama like I am, smash that subscribe button. We're diving into all the tea, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Plus, I need the algorithm to think I'm cool. Help a creator out. So, here's where it all started. Day one in the villa. Nic walks in, 24 years old, nurse from Florida, and he's got that laid-back charm that immediately catches attention. Then there's Olandria, 27, from Alabama, working in the elevator and escalator industry, which honestly sounds way more interesting than people give it credit for. She's confident, she's gorgeous, and she's not here to play games. When these two first locked eyes, there was something there. You could feel it through the screen. But here's the thing about Love Island. Chemistry doesn't always mean coupling. Sometimes, the strongest connections hide in plain sight while everyone's distracted by the obvious matches. Nic initially coupled up with Cierra. They had something real, something solid. Conversations flowed easily, they laughed together, and for a while, it seemed like Nic had found his person. Olandria, on the other hand, ended up with Taylor. But that situation was messy from the start. Taylor gave mixed signals, hot one day and cold the next. Olandria tried to make it work, tried to build something genuine, but you can't force chemistry that isn't there. Meanwhile, Nic and Olandria developed this friendship. They'd talk, joke around, support each other through villa drama, and underneath all of that, something was brewing. Something neither of them wanted to admit because they were both trying to honor their current connections. Then came episode 2, the blindfold challenge. One of those classic Love Island games designed to stir up chaos and test loyalties. Islanders get blindfolded and kiss each other, then guess who they kissed? Sounds simple, right? But this challenge revealed something huge. Nic kissed Olandria, and when asked who the best kisser was, he said her name. But here's the kicker. Olandria was blindfolded during her turn. She never knew it was Nic who kissed her. He never told her. For weeks, this secret hung in the air. Fans watching at home were losing their minds. How could he not tell her? Why didn't he say something? But maybe Nic knew that revealing it would complicate everything. He was with Cierra. Olandria was with Taylor. Sometimes the timing just isn't right, even when the chemistry is undeniable. As the days went by, Nic and Cierra grew closer. They had genuine affection for each other, real conversations and moments that felt authentic. This wasn't just a strategic coupling. Nic cared about Cierra deeply. But at the same time, whenever Nic and Olandria were in the same space, there was this energy. The kind you can't fake. The kind that makes you wonder what could happen if circumstances were different. Olandria, meanwhile, was struggling with Taylor. He'd give her attention one moment and pull away the next. She'd open up and he'd shut down. It was exhausting. Friends in the villa started noticing. Even Taylor seemed unsure about what he wanted. The connection just wasn't clicking the way it should.
Then Casa Amor arrived. The twist that changes everything. The boys and girls get separated, new bombshells come in, and suddenly everyone's loyalty gets tested. It's chaos. It's drama. It's exactly what Love Island thrives on. And for Nic and Olandria, Casa Amor became the universe's first major sign that they were meant to be together. Because on the same night, during the recoupling, both of them got dumped. Nic's partner moved on, Olandria's partner moved on. They were both left standing there, single, heartbroken, and completely blindsided. The producers gave them a lifeline. They could return to the villa together as a couple, or they could leave the show. Most people would jump at that chance. Free pass back into the game with someone you clearly vibe with? Easy decision. But Nic and Olandria didn't take it. They got into that car together, two people who just got their hearts bruised, and they made a choice. They decided to go back as friends and try to win back their original partners. Why? Because they're loyal people. Because they believed in giving their connections another shot. Because maybe they were scared of what could happen if they actually gave in to what was clearly building between them. That car ride was heavy. You could see it on their faces. The what-ifs, the tension, the unspoken feelings. But they stuck to their decision. When they walked back into that villa, they walked in as friends. Nothing more.
Except the universe wasn't done messing with them. During a challenge called Soul Ties, Islanders had to kiss people they felt connected to. Nic and Olandria kissed, and it wasn't just a peck. It was one of those kisses that makes everyone stop and stare. The kind that makes you question every decision you've made up to that point. Fans went wild. The other Islanders noticed. But Nic and Olandria tried to brush it off. They were just friends. It didn't mean anything. Except everyone knew that was a lie. You don't kiss someone like that if there's nothing there. But they kept pushing it down, kept trying to make things work with other people, kept ignoring what was right in front of them. Nic continued building with Cierra. Their bond was strong, and for a while it seemed like they might actually make it to the end together. They supported each other, had deep conversations, and genuinely enjoyed each other's company. Olandria tried again with Taylor, hoping things would improve, but the same issues kept coming up. He wasn't giving her what she needed. The emotional availability wasn't there. She deserved someone who was all in, and Taylor just wasn't that person. Friends in the villa started telling her she deserved better. Even viewers at home were frustrated watching her try so hard with someone who couldn't meet her halfway. If you're loving this deep dive into Nic Olandria's journey, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We've got so much more Love Island content coming, and honestly, your support means everything. Plus, subscribing is free, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something right with my life. So yeah, help me out. Then, everything changed. Cierra had to leave the villa unexpectedly in episode 30 due to a personal situation back home. It was sudden, emotional, and left Nic completely thrown off. He'd built something real with her, and now she was gone. He was single again, processing the loss, trying to figure out what to do next. Around this same time, Taylor made his choice clear during another recoupling. He chose Clark over Olandria. After all the back and forth, all the mixed signals, all the effort Olandria put in, he picked someone else. She was hurt. She was disappointed. But maybe, deep down, she also felt relieved, because now there was nothing holding either of them back. Nic and Olandria found themselves in the same position again. Both single, both available, both trying to figure out their next move. And this time, they didn't fight it. They started spending more time together. The conversations got deeper. The touches lingered longer. The looks across the villa became impossible to ignore. What started as friendship began shifting into something else, something that had been waiting in the wings this entire time. They'd go on walks, talk until late at night, share things they hadn't shared with anyone else. And slowly, they realized what everyone else had seen from the beginning. They were meant to be together. Just days before the finale, Nic and Olandria officially coupled up. It was one of those moments that felt both surprising and inevitable at the same time. Fans who'd been shipping them since day one finally got what they've been waiting for. Nic Olandria was real. The chemistry they'd been suppressing, the connection they'd been denying, it all came rushing to the surface. And suddenly, everything made sense. All the near misses, all the almosts, all the times the universe pushed them together, it led to this. They weren't just coupling up for strategy or convenience. This was genuine. This was what Love Island is supposed to be about. Their time as an official couple in the villa was short, but it was intense. Every moment felt precious because they'd wasted so much time getting there. They made up for lost opportunities with deep conversations, stolen kisses, and constant reassurance that this was real. Other Islanders noticed the shift. The energy between them was different from what they had had with other partners. This was effortless. This was right.
During their final date, emotions ran high. They talked about everything they'd been through, how many times they could have been together but weren't, how grateful they were to finally be on the same page.
Finale night arrived, and Nic and Olandria placed second. Some people might see second place as losing, but for them, it felt like winning. They'd found each other against all odds. They'd gone through multiple partners, Casa Amor chaos, recoupling drama, and heartbreak, only to end up exactly where they were supposed to be. During their final speeches, the emotion was real. Nic talked about how Olandria made him feel seen and understood in ways he hadn't expected. Olandria talked about how Nic showed up for her when she needed it most. They didn't win the money, but they won something better. Each other. At least that's what everyone hoped. Because here's where things get interesting. After Love Island, Nic and Olandria's relationship entered a new phase. No cameras, no villa, no challenges forcing them together. Just real life. And they decided to take things slow. Really slow. Despite placing second as a couple, despite the obvious chemistry, despite fans shipping them harder than any other couple that season, they haven't put an official label on their relationship. They're dating, they're exclusive, they're going on trips together. But boyfriend and girlfriend? That's still up in the air, and fans are losing their minds over it. They've been spotted together multiple times since the show ended. They went on a vacation to Greece, posting pictures that made everyone swoon. They attend events together, support each other on social media, and clearly enjoy each other's company. But whenever anyone asks about their relationship status, the answer is vague. They're taking their time, they're figuring things out. They want to build a foundation outside the villa before slapping labels on anything, which honestly is mature and smart. But it's also driving fans absolutely crazy. Because after everything they went through to get together, people want confirmation that it's official. There was one moment that gave fans hope. During a TikTok live, Olandria accidentally referred to Nic as her boyfriend. She quickly corrected herself, but the damage was done. The clip went viral. Comments exploded. Everyone took it as a sign that they're more serious than they're letting on. Maybe they're keeping things private to avoid pressure. Maybe they're genuinely still figuring out if this works outside the villa. Or maybe they're just enjoying what they have without needing to define it for everyone else. Whatever the reason, Nicolandria remains one of the most talked about couples from Season 7. At the Love Island USA reunion in August, they showed up together looking happy and comfortable. When asked about their relationship, they gave the same answer. Taking it slow. No pressure. Just enjoying each other. But their body language told a different story. The way they looked at each other, the subtle touches, the inside jokes, these two are absolutely into each other. Whether they admit it publicly or not, something real is happening. And honestly, maybe that's the smartest move. Love Island relationships have a notorious failure rate. The pressure from fans, the sudden fame, the transition from villa life to reality, it breaks a lot of couples. By taking their time and not rushing into labels, Nic and Olandria might actually have a shot at making this work long-term. But let's talk about what makes their story so compelling. It's not just the chemistry, though that's undeniable, it's the journey. Most Love Island couples meet, couple up, and either make it or don't. Simple, straightforward. But Nic and Olandria's path was anything but simple. They had chemistry from day one, but coupled with other people. They got dumped on the same night, but chose to stay friends. They kissed in challenges, but tried to ignore it. They supported each other through heartbreak, while developing feelings they couldn't act on. Every obstacle that should have kept them apart only made their eventual connection stronger. That's the kind of story people root for, the kind that feels destined.
There's also something to be said about timing. How many times have you met someone amazing, but the timing was wrong? You're in different places, focused on other things, not ready for what could be. Nic and Olandria's story is a reminder that sometimes the right person comes into your life before you're ready for them. And if you're lucky, you get a second chance. Or in their case, a third, fourth, and fifth chance. The universe kept putting them in each other's path until they finally stopped running from it. That's not just good TV. That's a genuinely beautiful love story. Fans have dissected every moment of their journey. From that first blindfold kiss to their finale placement, people can't get enough of Nicolandria. Social media is flooded with edits, theories, and discussions about their relationship. Some fans are frustrated they're not official yet. Others respect their decision to take things slow. But everyone agrees on one thing. These two have something special. Whether it lasts forever or crashes and burns, the journey has been captivating to watch. And isn't that what Love Island is all about? Finding connection, navigating drama, and hoping that maybe, just maybe, love actually exists in a reality TV villa.
Looking back at everything, it's wild how many times they almost didn't happen. If Nic had told Olandria about that first kiss, would they have coupled up earlier? If they'd accepted the Casa Amor lifeline and returned as a couple, would they have made it to the end differently? If Cierra hadn't left and Taylor had chosen Olandria, some might say that's too little, too late. But others would argue it's perfect timing. They needed to go through everything else to appreciate what they found in each other. The real test is happening right now, post-show. No producers creating drama, no challenges forcing romantic moments. Just two people trying to figure out if what they felt in the villa translates to real life. And based on what we've seen, it seems like it does. They're still together months after filming ended. They're traveling together, making memories, building something that exists outside the Love Island bubble. Sure, they haven't confirmed an official relationship status, but actions speak louder than words. And their actions show two people who genuinely care about each other and want to see where this goes. The pressure on Love Island couples is immense. Fans have expectations. The media wants headlines. Everyone's waiting for them to either get engaged or break up with no in between. But Nic and Olandria are navigating it their own way. By keeping some things private, by not rushing into labels, by focusing on building a real connection away from the spotlight, they might actually beat the odds. Because the couples that last aren't usually the ones who go hardest, fastest. They're the ones who build a foundation strong enough to withstand everything that comes after the show ends. Before we wrap this up, if you've made it this far, you're a real one. Seriously. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're covering all the Love Island drama, updates, and behind-the-scenes tea you need. And drop a comment telling me your favorite Nicolandria moment. Was it the blindfold kiss, the soul ties moment, or their finale speech? Let me know. So, what's the final verdict on Nic and Olandria? Honestly, it's too early to say if they'll make it long-term. But here's what we do know. They had undeniable chemistry from day one that everyone saw except them. They went through multiple partners, heartbreaks, and near misses before finally getting together. They placed second in the finale, despite being coupled up for the shortest amount of time. And they're still together now, taking things at their own pace, ignoring pressure from fans and media to define what they have. That's pretty damn impressive. Their story isn't just about romance. It's about timing, fate, and second chances. It's about recognizing when something real is right in front of you, even if the timing isn't perfect. It's about being willing to take a risk on connection after getting hurt. And it's about building something authentic in an environment designed to test every relationship that forms. Whether Nic and Olandria end up together forever or go their separate ways eventually, their Love Island journey will remain one of the most memorable from Season 7. Because sometimes, the best stories aren't about the couples who had it easy. They're about the ones who had to fight, wait, and work for what they found. And Nic and Olandria? They definitely did that.
The question now is whether they can sustain what they build. Can the connection that burned so bright in the villa survive real-world pressures? Can they move from taking it slow to fully committed? Will we ever get that official boyfriend-girlfriend confirmation fans are desperate for? Only time will tell. But if their journey has taught us anything, it's that Nic and Olandria have a way of defying expectations. They weren't supposed to couple up. They weren't supposed to place second. They weren't supposed to still be together months later. But here we are. Maybe they'll keep surprising us. Maybe they'll prove that Love Island relationships can work if you're willing to do it your way instead of following everyone else's timeline. One thing's certain, The Love Island USA Season 7 villa wouldn't have been the same without them. From that secret first kiss to their second-place finish, from friendship to romance, from denial to acceptance, Nic and Olandria gave us a story worth watching. And whether you're team Nic Olandria or not, you can't deny they had something special, something real, something that made people believe, even for a moment, that finding love in a reality TV villa is actually possible. And in a show full of strategy, drama, and showmances, that genuine connection is what keeps people coming back season after season.
So here's to Nic and Olandria, to second chances, to perfect timing that doesn't look perfect at first, to chemistry that can't be faked, and to taking your time even when everyone's rushing you. Whatever happens next, they've already proven that sometimes the best love stories are the ones that take the scenic route to get where they're going. Now we just wait and see if this scenic route leads to forever, or if it was just a beautiful detour in both their lives. Either way, we were here for every moment of it. What do you think? Will Nic Olandria make it official? Are they endgame, or just a villa romance that couldn't translate? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you want more Love Island breakdowns, theories, and updates on your favorite couples, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!